This man literally came back from the dead and still wasn't allowed to be alive. Now, this guy's name is Donald, and Donald, he was a total mystery, vanished for decades without a trace. It all began in the 1980s in Ohio. Donald wasn't living his best life. He had lost his job at a construction company, and his marriage was collapsing. Everything that could go wrong did. Life hit him hard, and instead of facing it, he just disappeared. Yeah. One day, he packed up, disappeared, and never looked back. For years, no one knew where he was. His ex-wife, Robin, was left behind, raising their 2 kids all by herself, trying to rebuild her life. Every knock on the door brought a small hope that maybe he'd come back, but the years kept passing, and that hope faded. Eventually, after 8 years of patience and silence, Robin had to make the painful decision. She petitioned the court to declare him legally unalived. Yeah, imagine that conversation. Hey, sorry kids, yeah, your dad's not missing. He's officially unalived. And the court agreed. In 1994, Donald was legally declared gone. Unalived, however you want to phrase it, which meant no social security, no debts, and Robin could finally collect life insurance benefits to raise their kids. For her, it wasn't a victory, it was survival. And for a while, everything went quiet. The world moved on until he came back.
If you can take a second to like and subscribe, it would mean a lot. It's free and you'll become a bear today.
Yeah, in 2005, more than 20 years later, Donald rose from being unalived, reappearing in Ohio, alive, breathing, walking. Like, hey guys, miss me? Except nobody knew what to do with him. Everyone thought it was a joke, because come on, how often does someone stroll into a courthouse like, surprise, I'm alive? But no, it was really him. Donald was alive. He claimed he didn't even know he'd been declared unalive until he returned. And here's the thing, when he came back, Ohio wasn't the Ohio he remembered. Streets had new names, stores he knew were gone. Even his favourite pizza joint was replaced by some vegan cafe. Ugh, a vegan cafe. I bet he wished he was actually unalived. He wandered around like a tourist in his own hometown, squinting at street signs, asking random people for directions. Nobody knew what to do with a guy who was technically unalived. Even his kids weren't kids anymore. Teenagers when he left, full-grown adults now. He had been living under the radar in Florida and Georgia for years, working odd jobs and hiding out. All the while, his family believed he was gone forever. After years of drifting, Donald wanted to make things right, so he moved back to Ohio and tried to rebuild his life. He started looking at apartments, scouting neighborhoods, trying to figure out where he could quietly exist. But everywhere he went, it felt like he was invisible. People saw him, but the system didn't. He even tried simple pleasures, going to a cafe, hopefully not the vegan one, buying groceries, walking down the street. Everywhere he went, he had to explain himself. I exist, I promise I exist. People looked at him like he was a magician or a con artist. And that's when the first problem hit. He went to renew his driver's license. The clerk looked him up and said the words no one expects. You can't. You're not alive. That's not the thing you expect to hear while you're standing in line on a random Tuesday morning. Donald was like, wait, what do you mean I'm not alive? I'm standing right here. But the system didn't care. On paper, Donald was still 6 feet under. At least legally. So, he did the logical thing. He went to court to get his unalived certificate reversed. Your Honour, I would officially like to be alive again. Imagine being the judge that day. Like this man just walked into your courtroom, breathing, blinking, existing, and you have to decide if he's real enough to be alive. The case landed in Hancock County Probate Court in front of Judge Allen. And what happened next was one of the weirdest legal moments in US history. Donald's ex-wife Robin spoke first. Look, I didn't fake anything. We truly believed he was gone. I needed the benefits to raise our kids. And honestly, no one blamed her. But her truth clashed directly with his. If Donald was legally alive again, guess what that meant? She'd have to pay all the money back. All the benefits, insurance, everything. So, the judge, faced with a legal nightmare, a living man who was technically unalived, and an ex-wife who would be financially ruined if he wasn't. After hearing both sides, the judge delivered one of the most bizarre rulings ever. Sorry, Mr. Donald. Legally speaking, you're still not alive. What? Yeah, sorry buddy. You missed the deadline for existence. The judge explained by Ohio law, Donald only had 3 years to reverse a declaration. And since it had been, over a decade, that window had closed. So that's it. The judge literally looked at a living, breathing man and went, legally, you don't exist. Imagine trying to get a job like that. Hi, I'd like to apply for this position. Sure, name, Donald. Oh, sorry, our system says you're deceased. Yeah, but not anymore. Yeah, good luck with that resume. Because apparently dying once isn't dramatic enough. Donald said he lived with his parents after returning. No job, no ID, no legal existence. He was a ghost in the eyes of the government. And what makes it worse? Nobody could really fix it. The judge actually felt bad for him, but said his hands were tied. The law was the law. Donald's story made national headlines. People were calling him the man who wasn't alive and came back. Some joked he was proof of reincarnation. Others said he was living proof that paperwork lasts longer than people. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Reporters flooded Arcadia, Ohio, wanting to interview the unalived man. He didn't blame his ex-wife. He blamed himself for disappearing. But what he did want was a chance to start over, without being haunted by his own certificate that said he shouldn't even exist. Unfortunately, the US legal system said, yeah, no can do. You're not alive on paper forever. Because, fixing a typo's fine, unless the typo's your existence. So that's how Donald became one of the only living Americans to be officially unalived. Eventually, Donald just gave up fighting it. He accepted his strange fate and quietly lived out the rest of his life in Ohio. No job, no ID, no legal rights, but very much alive. Beneath all the jokes, this was a man who hit rock bottom, disappeared, and when he tried to come back, the world acted like he didn't exist. And honestly, only bureaucracy could make dying once not enough.